What's up everybody? Sir Cedric here with Sample Fiends. I'm here to show off a few things that our refill, Synth Nation, can do with the Reason 6 included effects. When you first open Synth Nation to create a new instrument, you're going to notice that there are several folders that divide up your patches. First, you're going to have the All Synth Patches folder, then Combinators, Maelstrom, Subtractor, and Thor. As you can imagine, the raw synth patches are available in each of these three folders, as well as in their totality in the All Synth Patches folder. Going into the Combinator folder, we see that there are 5 additional folders: Leads and Big Mids, Pads, Keys and Textures, Power Synths, Rhythmic and Effects, and Thumps and Basses. There is some crossover between the folders. For example, something may qualify for a lead or big mid in the higher register of the keyboard, and a thump and bass down in the lower register of the keyboard. In that case, I would put it in both folders so you'd always be able to find it. One of the things we're going to look at first is one of the power synths. All of these power synths are very big, powerful synths, as you can imagine. I've set up a MIDI track, and we're going to listen to this synth called Be Generous. First, you're going to hear the synth raw by itself, then we'll be hearing it with 2 different Alligator patches that are automated to enable themselves over the next few bars. One of the reasons that the Alligator is particularly useful with the power synths is because the power synths contain low frequency, mid, and high frequency content. They're very stacked and very full, which means when the Alligator separates out the bands, each of those bands still has something to work with, and we can produce some really cool sounds. You can take a synth that Little John would use for one of his productions, put an Alligator on it, and make it sound like a techno or a house song. We could even try switching the patch and see if it still works. Let's go down to a patch called Blow It Like You Know It. There's a total of over 500 combinators in the Synth Nation Refill, and over 120 of those are in the Power Synth folder. And I bet you if we were to listen to each and every one of those, we could find an Alligator preset that would sound great and can really add some rhythm and motion to our tracks while still using really heavy, full synths. Next up, I've got a power synth that actually sounds a lot like a bass. It's called Awful Waffle, and if any of you remember the old show Salute Your Shorts, that's plus 10 points for you. I've got that hooked up to a Pulveriser, and instead of just using the Pulveriser for its compression and distortion capabilities, I happen to really like the filter, so I'm using it to modulate the filter, and I found a button on my combinator that I wasn't using. It was button 3. So I reprogrammed that to use a Maelstrom as the modulator for the frequency of the filter on the Pulveriser. And I've got it hooked up to a simple sine wave. Clicking the button changes the speed, and let's hear what that sounds like. Boom! Instant wobble bass. I've actually had a few of our customers email me through the contact form on our website asking for tips on creating wobble basses. And there you have it. Using just a Pulveriser and a Combinator patch from Synth Nation, we created one. Something else I wanted to look at was the way that we can use the echo. Now we can make some pretty non-standard sounds with the echo. I'm going to go down to an organ sound that I've programmed here, and we'll bypass this echo patch that I've got called Choreverb, and it also has a corresponding reverb patch underneath by the same title. Let's hear this dry sound called Backroom Brawl. Now I've got this reverb hooked into the breakout jacks of this echo, and on the echo I've got a very short delay time with very low feedback turned off of sync. So now we're actually using the echo more like a chorus or flanger effect. By putting the reverb into the breakout jacks, we're forcing the echo to process a reverbed version of our original signal. So let's turn this effect on and hear the kind of cool reverb-enhanced stereo chorusing that we get now. adjusting the delay time or using something to modulate the delay time and the feedback, you can achieve some really cool synced chorus and flanging effects as well. Now let's close this and look at a more traditional use for the echo on this patch that I've called All Night Gangsta. This is actually one of my favorite patches in the entire Synth Nation library, and I got this from the Thor folder, not inside the Combinator folder, so we're just dealing with the raw patch. If you look at this delay, it's relatively simple. We have a quarter note delay, keeping the pitch in sync, very light feedback, and very light coloring and filtering, as well as some use of the diffusion settings to sort of smooth out the additional repeats. And what we end up with is a traditional West Coast hip-hop sound. If you ask me, there's nothing more frustrating than buying a set of sounds that does not work in your production. Some people's sounds sound great in the demos, but they don't actually sound that good when you go to use them in a song. This is the exact thing that we try to avoid, and the new effects in Reason 6 make it even easier for our awesome sounds to fit into your songs. This is just a little taste, a smidgen, a tiny little morsel of the things that are possible using Synth Nation and the Reason 6 effects. Not just the new effects, but the old arsenal as well. And if there's anything else that you'd like to see us do with our patches, please let us know in the comments. We'd be happy to hear back from you, and we'd love to make more videos to show you guys what you want to hear. Thank you for checking out our video, and thanks for your time. We'll see you guys next time.